Welcome to Wildcat Sports Update. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and this afternoon I have the pleasure to have in the studio with me the captain of our girls hockey team, Kylie Flynn. And Kylie is an unusual type of captain because she's playing on a co-op team this year where we're co-opting with Stoneham. So Kylie, just give a quick introduction, who you are, what position you play, how long have you played at Wilmington High School?
I'm Kylie. I've been playing defense. I've been playing since I was around like 8 years old. And I've been playing defense for the high school team since 8th grade.
8th grade. So this is your 5th year of playing high school hockey. Are you going to miss it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. We'll get to that at the end of the interview. So it's unusual this year. This is the first year of a 2-year co-op program with Stoneham. How was that? How did you go into it? What were your thought processes when you first heard that announced?
I thought it was just like weird. Like how would two teams that never knew each other, like two different towns, just come together and play? And we knew Stoneham was already in a co-op in the past years, so I think for them it probably wasn't as hard. Like they were like, oh, like we've done this. But for us, it was definitely, I think, like, how's this going to work? Like this isn't how it's supposed to be. It definitely didn't seem normal.
So did you have to go through the normal like tryouts and practice? And it's 2 coaches, is that correct?
There's like they're co-head coaches.
Okay, and how did that work out for everyone?
I think at the beginning it just took time to kind of get used to, I think, for everyone, because I know like the Wilmington girls were going to our coach for everything basically, and the Stoneham girls were going to theirs just because that's all we knew. But I think we've made it's been a huge change with that. We've definitely all become one team now and everyone works together.
Okay, so just for official purposes, what is the name of the team? Do we know that yet?
We just kind of made one up as we go. We call ourselves SWOO.
Okay.
So that's what we like to say before games and stuff.
Okay, good. And what uniforms do you wear?
So at home, when we play at Stoneham, we wear the Stoneham white jerseys. And when we play away, we wear Wilmington blue.
Okay, so one Stoneham, one Wilmington. Yeah. And it doesn't say like Stoneham, Wilmington
on
the jersey.
No, it's just like each other's town's jerseys, and we just wear one and one.
Okay, now so at the beginning of the season, they selected captains. And you told me earlier, so there are 3 captains?
Yes.
Okay. And there's you and...
So there's me, and then there's Kaylee Cronin from Stoneham, and then we have an assistant captain who's a junior, Ava Krasko.
And she's from Stoneham
Stoneham
as well.
too, yes.
So what's the difference in hockey? I know hockey's one of the few sports where you know who the captain is right away, right? There's a big C on your jersey, and there's a big A. What's the difference to you between the C and the A?
I think especially this year, it's kind of a difference because the A is given to a junior. So I think it's kind of like I think the captains are more like, the C is more of like basically the leaders, like one step down from the coaches, like keep everything going in the locker room, off the ice and stuff like that. And I think the A is more of like to help us with stuff that we are struggling with, or to kind of like lead us in the right direction if we're doing something wrong, and also just to probably teach her stuff because she's most likely going to be a captain next year, would be my guess.
Okay, and then is there any relationship on the ice? If you're on the ice, does the referee come to you, or they still just go to the coach?
Yeah, like if there's like a problem or something, we could, and the coach maybe couldn't get to them, we would probably be the first people to go to the ref. But usually they'll just kind of speak to the coaches. They try to just handle it that way.
Okay, so going in, how many Wilmington girls are participating right now on the team?
I want to say if there's 9.
9, okay. And we basically, if we wanted to have a full Wilmington team, I guess the minimum is like 12?
Yeah, you would need at least 12. That would still be pretty tiring.
Okay, so then what's the total? So we have 9 Wilmington, 9 Stoneham, so 18 total. Yeah. Everyone dresses each game?
Yep.
Okay, so of the 9 Wilmington players, any goalies?
Yes, our goalie is from Wilmington, Maddie Sonato, and she's our only goalie.
Oh, she's the only goalie? So what happens if Maddie gets hurt?
Oh, so she did get hurt once this season in the middle of a game.
Okay.
Her head got hurt, and so they had to like do the concussion check, and we had to play with 6 skaters, and we actually scored.
So you played with no goalie?
Yeah, so somebody was in the net and couldn't cross over. I want to say like the red line or something, and they were like somewhat the goalie, and then we just played with our normal 5, and we ended up scoring somehow.
That's a phenomenal story.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So could somebody have put the gear on?
Yeah, but it was like I want to say it was like the second period, like not even in between periods, nothing. Like it was dead in the middle of the game.
Okay, so then in the third period, just keep playing the same way?
No, she was fine. She came back within, I think we only did it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But.
Okay, and Maddie is a sophomore?
Yes.
Okay, so defenseman, you're a defenseman. How many other defensemen are Wilmington athletes?
3.
3, and names?
Emma Flynn, that's my sister, and then Ashley Mercier.
Okay, and Emma's your sister, and you've been playing with her for a couple years now, right?
Yeah, I think this is our second year playing together.
And she's a sophomore or
Sophomore.
Okay, and then forwards. I hate to put you on the spot here.
So for forwards for Wilmington, we have Lily McKenzie, Sophia Brunetto, Julia Archer, Gabby Daniels, and Caitlin Halley.
Okay.
I think that should be everyone.
And Sophia is the only other senior on the team,
Yes.
correct?
Oh, well, Kaylee Cronin's a senior. She's from Stoneham.
Okay,
So
only
me,
a senior.
Kaylee, and Sophia, yeah.
Okay, only senior from Wilmington.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I hate that. I feel kind of weird, but I will separate.
I know,
I'm a Wilmington guy,
it's confusing.
So, I'll always stick with our Wilmington kids.
Of course.
At least we got a chance to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So how has the season gone so far?
I think at the beginning we were off to a slow start. Just none of us had really played with each other before. It was weird. Like, it was new coach, new people, just the mix. But ever since the new year, it's been really good. We had a big win the other night versus Fenwick.
Okay, and are you in contention for postseason?
Right now, yes. We have 2 games this week, Wednesday and Thursday, and those are our last games. And we should still, no matter how those go out, we should still be in playoffs.
Okay, so you're going to get to play in the playoffs.
We should, yes.
And are we Division 2
We're
or
1 this year.
Division 1 this year
Yeah.
because they combined. Okay, and who are the big goal scorers? Is there somebody who's really stood out for us?
Lily McKenzie's having a big year. She's always good for us. Been a big help. She's a good goal scorer. Ava Krasko is good. She's from Stoneham. Kaylee Cronin, good player. She's a senior. But I'd say from Wilmington, I think Lily has been huge for us this year. She can put the puck in the net.
Okay, now we talked about Maddie Sonato being the only goaltender.
Yeah.
Are there any goaltenders like in the pipeline somewhere that we?
I think there might be one for Stoneham next year. I don't know if she's going to Stoneham or not. I don't think we really have any in Wilmington coming up, which could be a problem.
Maddie's sophomore. I think?
Sophomore,
Okay.
yeah. So at least we have 2 years to
Okay,
figure it out.
So it's had a successful season.
Yeah, definitely.
So you talked a little bit about your role as a captain.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk a little bit about the differences between this year and last year? Because we had the COVID year last year with no fans. We had no opportunity for your parents to probably see you play too much. And you had to wear masks, so we're still wearing masks now, and you couldn't go on the bus. How has that changed, and how did you see your role as a captain helping to impact that positively?
Yeah, so I think last year, like, especially the seniors, everyone just kind of got gypped of a year. Didn't even feel real. Like, playing in the arena with no fans was just like, it was just weird. It wasn't normal. It felt like practice. So I never really think we got like the whole like team like thing down and everything. And I don't think the captains really got to, like, they did a great job for what they could do. But I think this year, like, I've realized that it's like, and now I have the whole on ice thing and off ice thing. Like last year, the captains were just like kind of our captains in the rink and stuff like that. But there wasn't much we did outside of hockey because of COVID, and there were so many rules. And I think this year it's like been a lot more of like us trying to plan like team stuff and team outings and trying to get everyone together to build a team. So I think that's been the difference, more of like the off ice stuff, because our captains last year were great though.
Okay, so we talk about the off ice stuff, which is usually the fun stuff,
Yeah.
right? How do you get to because it's Stoneham's a little further down 93. Are you guys going to games in separate buses? Or?
No, so we practice at Stoneham Rink every day, and we actually have a locker room there that we get to leave all our equipment there. So the buses just pick us up at Stoneham, and Stoneham has like the mini buses that we take. We don't usually take a big bus, so we usually do juniors and seniors on one bus and freshmen and sophomore on the other.
Okay, so is there a lot of activity on the bus? I mean, everybody enjoying themselves?
Oh yeah, we always have a speaker. Everyone's always like, usually before the game, everyone's always in a good mood. After the game, it kind of depends how the game goes, but yeah.
So since since only a couple captains, team dinners, is that something responsibility of the seniors, or how did that work out?
Yeah, I think me and the other captain, Kaylee, have we put out a schedule and everyone's just kind of signed up, and it's been good. There was like right around Christmas time, team dinners had to stop because of COVID. Right. So it was kind of weird. Like, we weren't really seeing each other off, like, out of the rink, like, and that kind of felt like almost like last year again. But ever since then, everything's back. We did like a team breakfast the other day. We've had some team dinners. So good. Yeah. That's
going well. So it's the opportunity to play. You get to play with Stoneham. I'm sure you're making new friends that you
for sure.
Who were your opponents last year.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah. So top moments from the year for the team. What are some of the big highlights that you can think of that we should let everybody know about?
Senior night last Thursday was definitely a huge one. We played Bishop Fenwick, and we played Bishop Fenwick one of our first games of the season, and we lost 7-1. And we played Bishop Fenwick again Thursday at senior night, and we beat them 4-2. And so that was, like, I think a really good moment for the team. Like, we've been struggling a bit this year to play 3 full periods, and we definitely came out and played 3 full periods that night. So that was a huge win for us.
Okay. Are there any rivalries that are budding, or things like before when it was just Wilmington, where they're Burlington and Wakefield? Is there any like new type of rivalries that you've seen build?
Not really. I think us and Stoneham, we've always been a little bit with Burlington, but us and Stoneham the girls have always just had a bit of a chippy game, and I think it was more of the girls in the past, but it was just funny that we've kind of always been like a little chippy or rivaled with them, and now we're like one team. So there's not much this year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So we also talked about your sister plays, and then she's 2 years younger.
Yes.
So what's it been like for the last couple of years to play with your sister? And you're both defensemen, I think, correct?
Yeah.
What's that been like?
There's definitely times where it's like great, but there's definitely times where I'm like, oh, like you just annoyed me the whole ride here. Like get away from me, or like if we're fighting or not getting along that day. It can be annoying, but like I definitely love it. It's been good. We definitely play D sometimes too, so that was kind of tough to get used to, being a D partner with her, but it's gotten better.
Okay, so you talk about being a D partner again. With my hockey knowledge, limited as it is, do you partner with the same person all the time? Is that something the coaches have set up?
Yeah, we try to do that. So usually I partner with Ashley Mercier or my sister.
Okay, and are there 3 defensive units then?
Yeah.
So 3 defensive units, 3 lines. Everybody playing basically equal amounts?
Yeah, normally, yeah.
Okay, and then because you're a defenseman, have you had the opportunity to go score a goal in your career?
I actually did score a goal. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. I forget who we were playing, but yeah, I did score. Yeah.
Did they celebrate for you?
Yeah. We always love having some D goals once in a while.
Okay, but your main job is to protect the net.
Yes, protect Maddie.
And then do you like mucking into the corners, or you like fighting out front?
I think it's a lot easier to kind of get it out away to the corner, because once it gets out front, it's just a battle and you don't know where it's going.
Okay. And what do you think about the quality of the ice that you play on? Do they Zamboni that every period?
Yeah, after every period they do. Stoneham's always had really good ice. I like it a lot there. Okay. Some rinks we go to aren't as good, but we're lucky that we have Stoneham most days.
Stoneham or Stusha, which one do you like better?
I definitely would have to say Stoneham.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'll always love Stusha, but I do like Stoneham. It's nice to have our own locker room.
Okay, and then next question is, with the combined team, we go to coaches. John LaPiana has been your coach for, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he's been since I started in 8th grade.
Started in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, and now who's the co-coach?
Cassandra Conley.
Okay.
She's the Stoneham head coach.
So do they divide the duties as doing what, or how's that transition work?
So during practices, it's just kind of like they each come up with drills, like they talk. All the coaches talk before, see what we need to work on, like all that, and they come up with drills together. Usually, like they'll go back and forth between whose drills, and then Coach John usually takes care of all the forwards, and Coach Cassandra does the D. So during the games, they just kind of like stay to their end of the bench, so there's no real confusion. And if we split up forwards and D at practice, we have Coach Cassandra, and the forwards have Coach John. Okay,
so now you've had Coach John for 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
What would you consider his coaching style?
I think he plays very systems. Like it took a while to, I think, like learn his stuff. Like my 8th grade and freshman year, I was definitely overwhelmed just with like, he likes his things like his way. His big saying is do what you're told, not what you want. So once he like puts a system in place, like that's how he wants it played. And I think it's helpful for people because they know exactly what they're expected to do. And for me now, it's like I can remember them on the back of my hand because I've been doing them for so long. But I think at the beginning it's overwhelming for people, but he like goes about it very slow and takes the time to really explain it through. So
do what you're told, not what you want to do. That's actually a good
it's
advice.
I think I've heard that all 5 years many, many times.
Okay, now you have a new head coach in reality from Stoneham. Anything you've learned from her?
She's been a huge help on D. She really like helps us out with like what exactly we need to work on, and she's really good in practices when we split up. Like we get to tell her what we want to work on, and she's good with coming up with drills for stuff that we want to do.
Okay, so with coaches, the biggest takeaway that you got from both your coaches this year, what's the biggest thing you're going to go with as you move forward in your life forward?
I think still to do what you're told, not what you want, and just the fact that like as a team we have to work hard for the whole game, all 3 periods. If we take a shift off, like the other team might score or get a goal. You never know. Okay,
and so we talk about being a co-op program. So it's hard for you to imagine because you're now a senior in your first time in it.
Yeah.
But what's the future look like? Is it because student athletes are going to other schools, or are young girls just not playing hockey, or where are we with that? From your perspective?
I definitely think a lot more girls are playing hockey now than when I was probably younger. But I think private school has just become really like a huge thing, especially in Wilmington. I think a lot of people consider private school a lot more than they used to.
Okay, so if I'm the father of a 4th grade girl who wants to think about playing hockey, what advice would you give her? If you sat down here and she was sitting here with us, what would you tell her right now from the experiences that you've had?
I would tell her like nothing beats playing with like your hometown friends. Like I still remember the girls from my 8th grade year. Like if I see those girls out, I'm still like we just saw each other yesterday. Like playing for your town and your town is just like nothing beats that. Having your town full of people there to watch you and everything like that's like you're representing your town, you know that. And I think nothing beats that. The friendships you make, and like you can still get recruited, you can still get whatever you want out of like your town hockey. It doesn't matter. You just have to make the best of it, and it's been a lot of fun.
So it sounds like your experience playing Wilmington hockey has been through the roof.
Yeah, it's
You've
been
really
good.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
good.
We've had some really good teams. I'm still friends with most of the girls. So.
You're a very good spokeswoman for the program, which is good,
thank
because
you.
I think one of the things we really need to understand is some kids are going to a private school, some kids are going to stay, and do we have enough? Can we build enough of a base to get back to being a solo program?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the goal. I mean, I looked at private school too, but I'm definitely glad I stayed in Wilmington.
Okay, and one final quick team question, then we'll get to the individual stuff. So you have 2 more games left, and a possibility of a tournament game.
Yeah.
What are your goals now going forward for those next couple games? What do you really want to try to accomplish as a team?
I think we need I think last Thursday was the first time that we've played like 3 full periods and haven't really taken a shift off and like let the other team capitalize on our mistakes. And I think that's going to be really important going into these 2 final games of the regular season, to play 3 full periods and just maybe try something that we haven't tried, or try something new to get ourselves ready for playoffs, because whoever we play in playoffs is most likely going to be the higher seed than us. So we're going to be facing whoever it is probably going to be a decent team. So we just have to get ourselves prepared and be ready for that.
Good attitude going forward.
Yeah.
And from right now, we'll wish you good luck.
Thank you.
I do know that we have to thank Mike Mercier, who's been volunteering.
Yeah, he's been awesome, yeah.
Right? And he has taken WCTV camera as a volunteer and done almost all the home games.
Yeah, it's been good.
So again, shout out to Mike Mercier.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Excuse me. So personal questions. What other activities or sports do you play with Wilmington High School?
I play lacrosse too.
Okay. Anybody that in your future, former teammates or teammates you have that really inspired you or helped you get along as a hockey player?
I think over the years I've been super close with Ida Bishop, Zoe DeRose, Peyton Fuller, and Bridget O'Shea, and Melanie Hayden. I think I've grown up playing with all of them, and it's just been really fun. Like I know we've all kind of always worked hard for each other. Like I always worked hard when it was Peyton, Mel, and Bridget's senior year, because I'm like, oh, it's their senior year. Like got to work hard for them. Last year it was Ida and Zoe's, and so I've always stayed close with them, and it's been like fun to work hard for each other out there.
That's great. And you've talked a lot about playing for your town and playing with the girls who you play with all the time. It's nice to give a shout out to the people who've come before you and helped to pave the way. What's your favorite moment hockey-wise this year and then for your career?
This year I would definitely have to go back to senior night, beating Bishop Fenwick after we lost to them 7-1 the first time was really big. And I think overall, the year of like Bridget, Peyton, Mel, all them. We had a really good run that year. That was the year we won league champs, and we got to play in the tournament. We had to go to Falmouth, which we didn't win, and it was a long ride. But it was just a good experience to get to be in playoffs and be league champs that year. It was huge.
Great. And coaches that you've had that you'd like to give a shout out to that have helped you along the way? Any other coaches?
So my dad's been one of my coaches for a while, so I've always kind of relied on him. And we used to have a coach, Coach Burness, who used to work with the D. Unfortunately, he's not coaching this year for the high school, but he's been a huge help helping me on D and everything. So definitely him and my dad.
I will say nothing beats a father who wants to help coach their kids. Speaking from someone with experience in that, but it's great. Great that the parents are involved like that. Anybody else influence you? Not former teammates. Has anybody really influenced you as you came along to where you are?
I think just like everyone around me, just kind of probably different depending on the year, but there's always just been like some reason to work for something or someone to work towards and stuff like that.
Perfect. Back to Mike Mercier. Do you watch yourself on WCTV?
Depends on the game. Sometimes I'm like, oh, if I know I messed up, I'd like rather not see it. But
so you're super critical of yourself if you mess up?
Yeah, I can be.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. 10 years down the road, you'll thank Mike for doing all
Oh, yeah,
work.
always.
You get to watch yourself
Yeah.
and you'll say, oh my God, look what I just
We're
did
so
there.
happy he does that for us.
Yes. We call it, in baseball, it's called a walk-up song. Is there a song that you guys, that you want to play right before you get going to motivate you?
This year we've usually been playing Mr. Brightside right before we get on. I think it kind of gets everyone in the locker room if they were sleepy or anything or not ready to go. It wakes everyone up, gets them ready to go.
So the funny part is that Mr. Brightside probably came out before majority
Yeah,
of you guys were born.
I
right?
know, yeah.
That's something that I would listen
Yeah,
to.
right.
It's kind of freaky. That's good though. I'm glad. And what are you going to miss the most of the whole thing?
I think just playing hockey and like playing for your town and just like the friendships and all the memories I've made through it, and just not like waking up every day and being like, oh, I practice after school. I get to see all my friends, and like not having the same coaches that I've had for 5 years. It will just be like a change when it's over.
Okay, what's your favorite team dinner that you, on the 5 years you've been there? Is there one team dinner that stands out? One parent or one something you did that really stood out and you said, this was the best team dinner ever?
Amy Bishop's cooking's always good. We've had a few of them there, and that's always been a fan favorite.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And as we wrap it up, what are your future plans, Kylie?
So I decided I'm going to Coastal Carolina next year, and I'm going to major in sports management. Okay. So I'm excited to be going out there.
Okay, so heading down to Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
And the warmer weather?
Yeah.
In sports management, any idea what you want to think about doing?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I know something related to sports because it's basically been like my whole life is sports, so I couldn't imagine getting rid of that.
You'll be taking over my job when you come back to Wilmington. I'm not going to like that too much. I'll have to stop you. That's great. And finally, we talked about the 7th and the 8th grader. What do you say to the younger kids as the captain this year? What's your message to them is to persevere through this co-op program? How did you help to get everybody in a comfortable mood?
I think it was just kind of like make the best out of every situation. Like if it wasn't for the co-op, we wouldn't be playing. And so like I get it, it stinks. Like it's my senior year. Like it's definitely not what I was expecting. Like if you told me in 8th grade that I would have a co-op my senior year, I probably would have been upset. I would have never expected that. But you just kind of have to make the best of it because it's been so much better than I expected.
That's very, very well spoken. So I'm going to give you one shot here. Look straight into camera number 3 over here. Give a shout out to whoever you want to give a shout out to.
Thank you to my team, my past teammates, my parents, and all my coaches that I've had throughout the years.
Perfect. So I'd like to thank Kylie Flynn. You're a very entertaining guest, very well spoken. You should be very proud of yourself and the team and merging that co-op team together and coming on air with us here on Wildcat Sports Update. So for Wildcat Sports Update, this is Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road.